Good morning and hello everyone. Armchair Dragon here. I hope you're all doing well. And first and foremost, I want to go ahead and thank every one of you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. If you like what you see, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. And so with that being said, let's get right to today's topic, which is my ideas and what I would like to see happen in the next installment of Grand Theft Auto, GTA 6. And, starting off, I'm going to go ahead and address the obvious elephant in the room and point out that this is not any type of leak, fake, or any other type of swerve video. You're definitely not going to get rickrolled with me. Like I said, these are just what I'd like to see happen and my ideas, and they're in no particular order whatsoever. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first one that I have is I definitely want to see them bring back the multiple character aspect from GTA 5, but this time around I want to see two characters, not three. I think by them having three characters in GTA 5, while it was cool and everything, I think that they used Franklin's character to kind of fill in where they could have delved more into the backstory between Trevor and Michael. That's just my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like Franklin. There's definitely more that could have been done with him as well, but I think they just filled in, killed time basically by sticking him in with his missions and what was going on with him, when they definitely should have and could have focused more on Trevor and Michael, their whole backstory and everything. Because I mean, we jump in with the prologue and we go from there. We don't really get any more than that. But it is what it is. And sticking with characters, and this time I'm referring to the game's AIs. I think for GTA 6, they definitely need to have more variety with the AI characters. Because, I mean, excuse me, I'm sure you guys are more than aware that numerous times when you're playing the game, you will literally see the exact same AI character, whether it's a guy or it's a girl. They have the exact same color of skin, hairstyle, mannerisms, everything. And it's kind of like, okay, this is a huge city. I could understand having them, reuse the same AIs, but not twice within walking distance of each other. You know what I mean? And real quick, getting back to uh, with that multiple character aspect for Grand Theft Auto 6, I really want to see one of those characters be female and have that female be a female version of John Wick. If you guys have never seen the movie, you're missing out. You need to check it out. For those of you that have, John Wick is completely badass, and I think it would be just as, if not more, badass to have a female version of him that you can play as. And let's face it, it's about time we have a female lead character that we can play in a GTA title. I know a lot of you will agree, a lot will disagree, but hey, it's my opinion, it's my ideas, and just like assholes, everybody has one. So, all right. Anyways, moving on and still sticking with characters, I want to see more missions and side missions with the lesser used characters. And for example, I'm going to refer to like Lamar, Maud, and Ron in GTA 5, because it's like while you do get to do missions for them, it doesn't continue. It's kind of a one and done with them. No, you don't just play one mission or do one thing for them. You do a couple of things for them, but it's like there's needs to be more there. I'm going to refer to the missions that you do as Trevor with Mod. The bounty hunting missions. It kind of just like stops. Once you get to the last mission, it just stops. There's no really like ending. I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. It just stops, and it's like we kind of need to not. I mean, it feels too open, and just like I said, it just stops, and they need to kind of have it trail off more to where there's like closure, yeah, on those missions like that. And anyways, moving on. Um, I know there was kind of a little bit of it in Grand Theft Auto 4, it was more prominent in GTA San Andreas. I'd really like to see them bring back girlfriends and the dating aspect from those previous titles. Um, I'm going to use another example from GTA 5, like with Michael. He's definitely that arrogant kind of playboy type. And I mean, we see that from the storyline of the problems that him and Amanda have. And I think that would have been something that would have worked for GTA 5 with at least Michael having, you know, because he's a playboy. He's a womanizer. He's messing around with the strippers. He's messing around with, well, I mean, all three characters can interact with the strippers and the various prostitutes throughout the city, but he just seems like that kind of character that, oh yeah, he's got his family at home, but meanwhile he's got his mistress or his side piece over in Vespucci Beach or somewhere else. And I just think that was something that was really cool and interesting, and gave you more things to do. And like I said, I'd really like to see them bring that back. Other things I want to see them bring back, definitely the rampages, the emergency wanted assassination missions, so on. We kind of got the assassination missions with Lester in Grand Theft Auto 5, but um, as long as I can remember, you've always been able to do like those rampages and wanted missions and like the fire truck, and that's what I referred to as emergency, like the ambulance and the fire truck missions. And they kind of tapered off with that, and I know I'm not alone in wanting to see those come back. And excuse me. And I'd also like to see a bigger variety of music stations, which includes, not only music stations, but music, songs, DJs, and DJ interactions. I'm going to go back to how it was for like Vice City and even San Andreas, which they both had a huge variety of all that. There were so many different stations. There was lots of DJ interaction and lots of great songs and everything. I mean, I realized Vice City was set in the 80s when there were tons of different types of genres of music, but San Andreas was set more in like what the 90s, and even they had a big catalog. I think GTA 4 kind of you know it was okay with GTA 4, but GTA 5 is to the point where it's like it doesn't matter if you play the game, and I'm talking about in-game time, for a day or if you play it for a week. When you get into your vehicle and if you turn it to one of the radio stations, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the same damn song every time. They do have maybe three okay radio stations, and they've got like maybe six decent songs, and it's like that's kind of crap, when that's kind of something that people know about Grand Theft Auto is the music, and especially coming from Vice City, where, like I said, that thing was just so huge, the music collection for it. It was like what, I think 7 or 8 CDs in all, and when CDs were relevant and everything. And yeah, each one basically had its own soundtrack, and it was pretty cool. And even like I said with San Andreas, they had a lot of great music and everything, but just I'm not impressed. That's all I'm gonna say, is I'm just absolutely not impressed, and I want to see more of that, in the next title. And another thing I'd like to see them bring back is the ability to go out and eat like you could in, San Andreas and GTA 4. It's something that could definitely tie in with them bringing back the girlfriends and dating, because I know that's something that you were able to do with your girlfriends in San Andreas. But it's like I'm trying to figure out why, and I mean, it's been a long time and I still haven't figured it out yet as to why did they get rid of that. I mean, you could go out and eat in San Andreas. Same thing with GTA 4, but you can't really. Well, yeah, you can't even do it in GTA 5. The only thing you can do is go to like the convenience slash liquor stores, get you some protein bars, and then you can hit the soda vending machines that are in different places throughout the city, but that's it. And it's kind of like, I think you guys should bring that back. Not really sure why you cut it out, but whatever. And yeah, moving on. Definitely would love to see jobs being a nice addition to the game. I know there could only be so many types of jobs that you could have or fit into the game to start off with, but maybe they, and by they I mean Rockstar, maybe they could add more, jobs and levels. Like, I'll say you go from being a burger flipper, you're working the crappy shift, kind of, I'm going to refer back to one of the missions in GTA San Andreas where you go in and you got to work a shift and, you do crap like flipping the burgers, waiting on customers, mopping up the bathroom, that kind of boring junk. And, with it, you can evolve. You do a great job, you show up for work, you do what you got to do, and you advance. You can become an assistant manager, a manager, blah blah blah. Same with, like, if you go into say a business atmosphere. You start out in the mailroom or whatever the lowest thing is, do your job, show up, blah blah blah. Next thing, well, I won't say next thing, because it would take a little time in game time wise, but you could be the CEO of that company someday. And it's something that they could add more to it and more types of jobs into the game, with the updates. When they come up with the updates, like what was the most recent ones? Summer something. But it's like, okay, you gave us clothing, you gave us missions, you gave us vehicles. They could do the same thing. They could also do that with, like, adding new music and new music stations, and that DJ interactions and everything. And you know, it it'd be limited, I would say, at first, but there's so many different things going on in or not San Andreas, in Los Santos. Like, you have sanitation workers, trash men, trash women, trash people, whatever you want to call them. But all you ever see them do is drive around in the truck. You never see them actually stop, pick up trash from anywhere. And it's like, that's something that could be a job. You've got the tow trucks driving around. Yeah, I realize in GTA 5 you can buy that business after a certain point, and I know you do those missions with, I can't even think of the girl's name off the top of my head, but, it's Franklin. You help her out, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, once you've done those missions and you've bought the business, and unless you're like, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say bored, or you really like doing the tow truck missions, you kind of, like me, I've done a handful of them here and there, but it's not like, I mean, it just gets to the point where it's repetitive, like with the taxi business, where, okay, go here, pick somebody up, or, rescue a vehicle with the tow truck and take it to here or take it to there. That's it. And you don't really get decent enough money doing that kind of thing. And I mean, if you want to make money in the game that way, it's going to take forever. But yeah, I'd really like to see them, add jobs in. I think that'd be pretty cool. And, real briefly, with the online aspect, I want them to have it to where the stuff that's online transfers over to the story mode of the game itself. And by that, I'm going to refer to the casino setting in GTA 5. That should be available in story mode as well. I mean, we have a casino in story mode, but it's basically just a shell. You can't go in there, you can't do anything with it, and it's like, why? Why didn't Rockstar make it to where once it was available that you could do it online? They made it available in the story mode part of the game, because it's like, there's a whole another set of missions right there just with that casino alone, with Franklin, Trevor, and Michael. And I don't know if they kind of just were like, eh, That was something we were going to do, but we just decided we were going to do it online. It's hard to say, but I think they need to have things be transferable between online and into story mode, like the weapons, vehicles, and pretty much everything else. But I'll get a little more into that in just a little bit here. Um, if you're keeping track, if not really, at number 10, I wrote down interiors, interiors, interiors. Holy crap, I want more access to more places. Have you noticed that at least 95% of the shops, the buildings in GTA 5, they're not accessible? It's like we need to be able to go into various stores, buildings, whatever in the next installment of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, yeah, you can go into the police station, you can go into a couple other places, but a lot of the places that you go into in story mode, it's a one and done. You can't go back into them unless you go into the, what is it? Um, Crap. I can't even think of what it is, but the thing where you go into the director mode, and then it's like, yeah, you can go into places, not all of them, but you can go into some of those places that are, for lack of a better term, locked after one and done it in the story mode mission. That's it. And they just need to have more interiors because there's so many buildings and everything. And the best way I can compare it to something is if you guys have seen the movie The Interview with Seth Rogen and uh, James Franco. Sorry, I wanted to say Jimmy. I don't know why, but James Franco. He at one point in that movie he goes back into town. He goes to a grocery store that's featured, but when he goes into the grocery store, it's not a real real grocery store. It's like, I think everything's like not cardboard but wood and painted, and it's painted like 3D-ish to where it looks from afar, it looks real and it looks like it's a full store. And then yeah, they've got baskets full of food, but the food is like plaster, not wax, but it's fake food, and he touches it and it crumbles and breaks apart and everything, and it's fake. That's what 95%, if not more, of the storefronts in Grand Theft Auto 5 are. Like, if you've ever walked up to one, it's either really crappy pixelated, or it's got that kind of like I want to say 3D effect to it, but that's it. There's nothing in there, and it's like, why would you have so many buildings and fake fronts of stores and shops, and not be able to go into them? And I'm not talking just about like restaurants, being able to go into those and eat and interact and everything, and like with the clothing stores, uh, and ammunition. It's like I'm talking car dealerships. For an example, Simeon's car dealership. After the mission that you do, you can't go back in there. It's one of those one and dones, and it's like, that's stupid. Why do you have these buildings only accessible for one point in the game, and then you can't go into them ever again? Like I said, unless you go into that director mode uh, feature that's in GTA 5, and I don't even know if you can go into Simeon's doing that. I know I've gone into a couple of places that, in story mode you can't, but I can't really remember if Simeon's is one of those that you can go into. But yeah, I want to be able to go into various stores and buildings with the next game. That's what I'm saying basically. And there also needs to be um, you know a larger variety of places to go into, like your clothing stores, having food and grocery stores, weapon shops, again, the car dealerships, restaurants. You guys get the idea of what I'm going for here. And I also think it'd be really cool if some of the stores had some of the same items as each other. Like for an example, I'm going to go with ammunition. Ammunition, it's the main weapon shop, where you go get your stuff in the game. But maybe they should add a competitor into it. And each business has like exclusive deals, sales, discounts, and weapons and everything. Like for example, let's say Ammunition has the grenade launcher for 25% off, okay, and the other place has the grenade launcher, but they're not having a sale on it. Maybe they're having a sale on, a 25, 50% off sale on another type of weapon. And speaking of weapons, you know, I want them to bring back some of the older weapons that they decided to discard for this game, and even like for GTA 4. I'm talking about like the flamethrower, the katana, and some of the other weapons that were in previous titles. And I don't know about you, but I want them to bring back the personal favorite of mine from GTA San Andreas. Yes, it's the big purple dildo. I want to see that return. That thing was absolutely freaking hilarious. There was nothing funnier than just, when you're being a bad guy or you're not and you're going after the gang members or whatever you're doing, beating the crap out of somebody with a big purple dildo that's the size of a baseball bat, and just bring back the chainsaw too. That was one of my favorites. It's like, what's going on, Rockstar? You have these weapons pretty much throughout all the titles, and then yeah, you added things here and you added things here, there, and then you took them away. And it's like, come on, bring them back, And getting back to the transferable stuff, from online to story mode, weapons is another thing. I can remember, and I can't speak for the PlayStation version because I've never played it, but I know when GTA 5 came out for the Xbox 360, I'm going to use the rocket launcher that shoots fireworks as the weapon that I can think of most prominently. Is that I remember being able, when that first came out with that DLC update, whatever the crap you want to call it, when that came out, I bought it online, but I was also able to use it in story mode with Franklin, Trevor, Michael. That used to happen where you could have weapons that were online available in the game itself. But for some reason, with the Xbox One version of Grand Theft Auto 5, it doesn't do that. And, I know there's things that they took out between the two games, from or the systems, I should say, from 360 to Xbox One, and some things they added, but it's like, okay, that's something that really needs to be transferable, and kind of ties in with having Ammunition and them having a competitor, because like online they have like what, a flashlight, they have a battle axe, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, there's something there again. Ammunition could not have the battle axe, their competitor could. And it like I said, I know I was able to do that in the 360 version, and they need to bring it back. Like I said, I don't know why they made it to where, oh, okay, you can buy the weapons, but guess what? They're only online, and that kind of sucks. And excuse me. Moving on, I want to see some new vehicles as well. I know there's been a ton of new vehicles added with those updates and everything in GTA 5. But again, you can't have them in story mode. And it's like, okay, Rockstar, you've got some pretty awesome vehicles. They're expensive as shit. Freaking ridiculous, $2, $3, $5 million plus for certain vehicles. And it's like, if I buy one, I better be able to play it, play with it and use it in the game itself. I mean, come on. There's some pretty badass attack helicopters and even attack aircraft. Airplanes. Fighters and the bombers, and holy shit, could you imagine having fun with the Bombushka in story mode? But nope, you can't. You can only do it online. And 9 times out of 10, you've got somebody trying to shoot your ass down when you're playing online. And yeah, so there's just lots of things that need to be available both in story mode as well as online. And, they can add new vehicles. I mean, they've done that, like I said, a ton of them. But I want to see some of the oldies but goodies come back. Like I think from GTA 3, the blue truck that I'm gonna say is the predecessor to the Sand King in GTA 5. That it was called the Cuban, I think, or this. No, maybe it wasn't called the Cuban. I don't know. It's been way too long since I played GTA 3. But they had some other vehicles, like they had a grandma old school boat car, like from late 70s to early 80s when cars were huge, and it was called the Idaho, I think. And yeah, I mean, let's bring some oldie but goodies back, like the Voodoo. I don't think the Voodoo is in GTA 5. I might be wrong. I don't I haven't seen it. But, bring back some of those cars that we know from those previous titles. You can update them. You can leave them alone. You can do whatever you want with them. And while I am on the subject of vehicles, oh boy, for the love of God, Rockstar, I hope you're listening. You have got to upgrade, update, revamp, whatever, the vehicle's handling and especially their collision physics. Holy crap. We all know damn good and well that a police car, and I'm going to tell you right now, I looked into this, a police car weighs no more than 5,000 pounds. Today's police cars, a 2020 police car, weighs between 4,000 something and just a tad over 4,500 pounds. And we know it is not, and I repeat, not going to be able to bully a tractor trailer, semi, big rig, whatever you want to call it, that weighs literally 5 times what that cop car does. You guys know what I'm talking about. You got the tractor, you've got the trailer, you've got that thing going balls to the wall down the road, and you got the cops after you, and one little itty bitty cop car can bully that semi not only off of the road, but can bring it to a screeching halt. And it's like, yeah, no, bullcrap. It's like, I realize this is a game, and I'm not talking shit. Excuse me, I'm not talking shit about Saints Row. Love Saints Row, but Saints Row is more of like the absurd over the top, where GTA is kind of more of like, I want to say, along the realistic lines. So yes, again, I know it's a game, but let's fix it. Because I mean that wouldn't happen in real life. I know it's a game, it's not real life, but GTA is a little more realistic, where Saints Row isn't. So let's fix it. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about when I say this as another example of why they need to fix this. That same cop car, okay? You know, you've done some no-nos. I've done some no-nos in the battle tank, aka the Rhino. That thing is modeled after the Abrams tank, okay? It weighs between 60 and 70 tons. And I know that you've experienced this because I have numerous times where you're driving that tank down the road, full speed, and a cop car comes up from behind and basically shunts you, just slams into the back of you, and that tank jolts forward. That's not going to happen. So yeah, come on, Rockstar. Let's fix the handling, and let's definitely work on those collision physics. Because I mean, there's a lot of times that, I mean, that's pretty much what I do right now. I just goof around in the tank, and I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that cop car, you can run over it, flatten the front of it. It's basically a wedge, and then it'll just piss you off and stay lodged underneath that tank until you can finally get to the point where it either gets stuck on something, or you pin it up against something, hit it somehow, some way to get it out from underneath that tank. And excuse me, while I'm still on this topic, let's have the ability to customize more vehicles. And again, I'm going to refer to Saints Row. I'm not asking for those levels of customizing, which is pretty much anything and everything under the sun in that game. If you've ever played Saints Row, you know you can take cop cars, fire trucks, ambulances, blah, 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 and you can customize them. You can put different rims on them, you can make them different colors, whatever. I'm not asking for that kind of level of customization in the next installment of Grand Theft Auto, but we need to at least be able to upgrade the cars. That's like, for example, the cop car. I'd like to be able to take it and at least repair it when I've got one and it gets damaged instead of having to try and steal another one, and then you get a wanted level and dealing with all that crap all over again. But, you should be able to at least with the cop car take it in, upgrade the tires, the engine, the transmission, if you want to make the windows tinted, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And moving on, I would absolutely love it if Rockstar would add in the fronts aspect to the next title. And by that I mean we should be able to have legitimate businesses that are fronts for a variety of illegal businesses, like brothels, drugs, counterfeiting, money laundering, etc. And you guys can kind of see that with the businesses online. You can have a weed business. I don't know what the drug business is because I don't have one of those. I've got the weed business and the counterfeiting. That's all I have. Excuse me. But I mean, yeah, that's something that would add a whole another level of gameplay to the next Grand Theft Auto title. And excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, there's so many things you could do with that. You could have presets like you do, and I'm gonna refer to the penthouse with the casino in GTA Online. When you go to buy that, they have presets of colors, designs, decorations, what have you, and the more basic, if you want to call it cheap, the cheaper it is. The more extravagant, the more expensive it is. And it's like they could do that with those preset where your fronts you can have whatever. And again, I know it would be limited, and I expect it to be limited, but at least give us at least three options for a preset, like a basic, middle of the road, and then high end. And like I said, you could have your illegal business in the back. Whether you're running a prostitution ring out of the back or you're counterfeiting money. I mean, that's something that I'd really like to see, and I think it'd be cool. And it would also, like I said, add more gameplay and more. Crap. I just lost the word that I was going to say. Oh, that's what happens. But yeah, I want to see stuff like that. I'm one of these people that I play Grand Theft Auto to where I wear it out and I have to walk away from it for just a little bit, play something else, and then come back. And it's just like, oh man, if they could do this for the next title or if they could do that, it's like, oh my God, it would add so much more replay value. That's what the hell I was looking for. Replay value to the game. And, excuse me, again, that's something that should, be available to you in story mode. With the, being able to transfer stuff back and not back and forth, but hey, if you got it online, you can have it in story mode. Okay, and I also want to see property, like houses, apartments, condos, whatever that we can either rent them, we can buy them. If we want, we can fix them up. Kind of like a flipping, like a house flipping show. Where yeah, you could flip the house, you could sell it, or the apartment, condo, whatever the hell you have. You could flip it for a profit, or if you wanted to, you could turn around and rent it out to people. And that's another way you could make money, and it's another aspect that adds more in depth to the game and more replay value. And again, you can have the presets with those. Like you've got an apartment, for example. Okay, you got three presets: basic, middle of the road, high end. There you go. And yeah, I mean, because it'd be cool if you could do that. Like I said, with those presets of like colors, designs, decorations, well, furniture too. I forgot about that, but yeah, and I definitely. Speaking of story mode, I definitely want a more in-depth story mode with the characters in the next game. In my opinion, like I said earlier, there was so much more that they could have done with Michael and Trevor's story, but they didn't. And they also need to give us more missions, and even, main missions and side missions in story mode with those updates when they come out. Because it's like, they were supposed to have done that, but yeah, that's another story for another day and another time. But yeah, I think it'd be sweet, basically, that it's like, okay, well, I've done everything. Oh, hey, check it out, man. There's a new update coming out. Sweet. Gonna be getting a new set of main missions for the main characters. Ooh, and even side missions for, like the side characters. But I mean, come on. I know I'm not the only one thinking this, and you can't tell me that nobody at Rockstar hasn't been like, hey, you know what? We should do this. I mean, come on, guys. Listen to your fans. I've been a fan for more years than I care to admit, and I've been playing these games for more years than I care to admit. I love them. Well, I still do. I still got a lot of respect for Rockstar. They've led the way in a lot of different genres, and I think they were the first one to do that third person uh, aspect with Grand Theft Auto 3, because nobody, I don't think, had ever done that before. And they broke the barriers on a lot of things, and it's like, I think they kind of got a little bit complacent with GTA 5, and it's like, come on, time to up the ante, guys. Let's do this. And yeah, so going with next to last, the world of Grand Theft Auto needs to go on. And by that, I mean, it's been 7 years, 1 month, and 2 days since Grand Theft Auto 5 first came out. And nothing changes in the game. I mean, that big, huge skyscraper downtown that is under construction, it's the same from day one when that game launched to today. It hasn't, it hasn't progressed. And it's like, I want to see that. I want to see the world progress. I mean, it does as far as like day and night in game, but nothing else progresses. And it's like, I also want to see seasons added in. I want to see a spring, a summer, a fall, and a winter. And, because there's people like me, and there are a lot of us, I'm sure, that we'd love to play in the snow. But you know what? Other than with, unfortunately, what's going on in the States, and was like insane, and Rockstar, was more than kind and generous, and allowed us to play in the snow during the pandemic when we couldn't go out and we couldn't do anything. We had to stay home. And, well, we were basically, quarantined and ordered to stay home. That, and that was fun. And believe it or not, in 7 years, that's the first time I've got to actually play in the snow, because every year previously, when they do, it's snowing, there's snow in San Andreas, it's during Christmas, and people have families and extended families, and they go to relatives and those extended family members, and and their family members for the holidays. And it's like, not all of us were able or have the luxury to be at home and play that only time that it's available. And I think that's, with seasons, they need to add seasons, so it's like we can have more than one day of snow. You know what I mean? I mean, that doesn't happen. Well, I won't say that doesn't happen in real life. Again, I know it's a game, but yeah, it does happen in real life in some locations, around the world, where it's like, yeah, they get snow one day. That's it. That's all they get. But come on, we're far enough into Grand Theft Auto. You guys have done so much Rockstar that it's like, let's finally add the seasons. Okay? And yeah, let's make that world go on. And another thing that they could do, like with the updates, the summer update, winter update, oh, whatever update, blah 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 blah. They could do the same thing and have it to where, getting back to that building that's under construction and having the world go on, is, okay, we've got this building, it's under construction. When you come out with the next update, have a little more done to it. And then when you come out with the update after that, a little more. Until finally you get to the point where the damn building is finished. Because it's like, come on, that building isn't going to sit there in the same spot. Yeah, or not the same, well, yeah, the same spot, but that's not what I'm meaning. In the same state, the same, 7.5 years later, it'll still be the same. When everybody's moved on to the Xbox X or the PlayStation 5, and it's been how many ever years down the road, I guarantee you, the building's still going to be the same. So anyways, I have yammered on more than enough about this. I just want to let you guys know, not all of my videos are going to be like this. I've unfortunately had a lot of technical issues when it comes to trying to be able to record actual gameplay, and I've got a lot of cool ideas and a lot of fun things I want to do. But at this point in time, I'm waiting basically for the next component to see if I'm going to be able to record, because unfortunately where I live, I'm in a very, very rural area. I cannot do live streaming because my internet provider only goes up to, 750 kilobytes per second, and that's definitely not going to cut it. So I'm going the route of where I can at least, well, knock on wood, knock, 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 I can record my gameplay and, do the things that I would be able to do streaming if I lived in a big city and had faster internet speed. But like I said, unfortunately, I don't. So I wanted to do something. I'm trying to get this streaming thing going. I really want to do this, and I'm kind of just in limbo. And I wanted to put something on my channel. And so this is what I came up with. I mean, this is something that I wanted to do for a while, of talking about things I'd like to see and my ideas and things like that with the next installment of Grand Theft Auto. So, in closing, oh, I almost forgot. Let me not jump ahead. Yes, the next Grand Theft Auto needs to be in Vice City. We've already been to Liberty City twice. We've already been to San Andreas twice. Yes, I know GTA was in London, but we need Vice City first. GTA 7 comes out, make it London. But damn it, we all want and we're clamoring for a return to Vice City. And I'm going to say real quick, I don't care if they pick up shortly after, the storyline of Vice City ends and they go from there, or if they set it in current time. But yeah, we need to go back to Vice City. And if you guys have paid attention, and if you notice, just like with all the other games, there's a ton of references to Vice City. So I'm pretty confident. I'm not going to say, 1,000%, 100 million times guarantee, blah, 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 that it's going to take place in Vice City, but I'm pretty confident it is. So, anyways, in closing, those are my thoughts and ideas on what I'd like to see in Grand Theft Auto 6. If you guys have any ideas, suggestions that I didn't mention and you'd like to see, please feel free. Go ahead, post them in the comments. I want to see what you guys think. Again, this is my very first video. I hope, for the love of God, that things work out here shortly with the being able to record my gameplay, and I'm going to have some pretty cool and fun videos up for you guys to check out. And until then, thanks again for checking out my channel. Go ahead and give the video a like, if the thumbs up if you like it. If not, that's cool, I understand. And thanks for joining me today, and I hope you guys all take care of yourself, take care of each other. This is Armchair Dragon signing off. I'll catch you guys next time.